Hello and welcome back to the Good Grief Pod, episode 24 today. We've also set the camera up slightly different if you wonder why we're at an angle.
Yeah.
Just experimenting.
Yeah. It's an illusion. Yeah, it's actually straight on.
Hopefully it'll make us slimmer. But yeah, I hope you guys are all good. Hope your week's going well. How are you, Rose?
I'm okay. We've had, we were talking really, well, I sent you that voice note, didn't I, about the random utensil. And we were talking about how things can just throw you off.
Yeah.
For no reason. Well, for a big reason.
Yeah.
Grief, guys. Grief. I would say I'm okay, yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, I feel like I'm having a better week-ish.
Had any, what is it, ropes to jump?
What?
Have any hurdles to clear?
Oh my god. It's like being sat with my mum.
Oh, sorry. No, not sorry, actually. That would be sick. I love your mum.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a bit of a weird one, to be fair. I've felt okay generally, but also have been emotional at points, but obviously that is normal in the world of grief. I guess my biggest accomplishment was month off the booze. And it made me very clear-headed, which was good. I feel like I did get less emotional when I was off, not drinking, because I think hangovers always bring tears for me now, particularly anxiety. So it was really good to kind of clear my head and just prove to myself. I know it sounds really sad, but I could do a month without drinking.
I don't think that sounds sad. I think it's really common. Obviously, it's important not to label yourself, but I think that, not that you drank to sort of cope, and not that anyone does that or doesn't do that, but I also think it's a big thing to, when you don't know how your emotions are going to be in a social setting, how your emotions are going to be at the end of the week when you finish a tough week. Sometimes it is I've really earned a glass of wine, or to go and go to the pub or something. And I think it's a lot to strip it back and just go, no, I'm gonna go straight into this with nothing and just no shield and just see. And I'm glad that you feel better for it.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
No, it was really good, I think. And I think doing it over February, when I knew the 1 year anniversary was here, it really was a good time to do it, because I knew it was going to be a hard month anyway. So to take the pressure off myself of, I guess as well, that I was just doing a bit less. I was being kinder to my body. I was having, cozier, slower weekends, which is
That's
good
really
to
nice.
slow down. And also just want to give out a shout out to Chaz, because he did run his marathon.
He did.
And I don't want to miss that.
No. So, yeah, we went down to Bradford-on-Avon, didn't we?
Yeah.
And, yeah, you guys made a makeshift finish line out of loo roll, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he ran through it. Do you know what? I was going to say exhausted, but I looked more exhausted, and I'd
Same.
walked from the car to the flat spot where we met him, and he'd just run, 26 miles?
I know. Yeah.
But an amazing cause. He raised so much money for Crew's bereavement support, who have helped us both and helped so many people with the work they do.
Yeah.
And is there still time to donate? I don't know, but
Don't know.
to be honest, he made a great chunk, and we're so grateful that, to have, not just Chaz as a friend, but as a support that really sees the work that, that crews do, and also, acknowledging what we try and put out in the pod. It's such a lovely thing. And and going back on Kat's episode, support a griever. You don't have to run a marathon, but go for it if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he did such an amazing job, and he did that off his own back through recognizing what we're doing with the pod, and recognizing how hard the journey must be for us. He's got both his parents. He's lucky to have them, and he has such a good relationship with them. So I think seeing the pain that we've been through with losing ours, it really hit home for him how fragile life was. And he was he did such an amazing job and, like you say, raised so much money. So
It's incredible.
shout out to Chaz.
Shout
He
out
was
Chaz. Big
amazing.
up Chaz. We'll bring it back.
Big up.
Just for this episode.
But yeah, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent just because I was like, oh my God, I need to mention.
Well, the guy did run 26 miles,
Yeah.
so we have to slip that in early.
yeah, exactly.
Not 26 miles later. Yeah.
Maybe 26 minutes right at the end. We'll do a clap.
Oh, yeah. Clap for the NHS and go out with our pans. Kind of miss that.
I miss that as well.
I'm sure they would prefer a pay rise than a clap. Anyway, what the hell are we talking about? the grief of working for the NHS, I guess. I was going to say, we've all been there.
I haven't.
I have. I'm not a doctor. I'm a brain surgeon.
What you doing
Anyway.
here, love?
Grief podcast. Anyway, you guys might be wondering what the hell was I talking about with my utensil story.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot we started.
I've just got a passion about utensils. But we were having, I actually have to be fair, like, some of them are insane. Anyway, just make life easier. But I was saying, me and Maz were talking, we don't want to set subjects for the podcast episodes anymore because a week for a griever can be, you know, you feel really great and then you pick it apart and think, oh wait, actually it wasn't all great. Or you have a really shit week and we've planned to talk about the positives of grieving and it's like, no, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
That I did say, because we've both had situations recently about like objects that aren't sentimental but for some reason they now are because of loss. And mine was to do with a utensil. So it was really weird. Jamie, my partner, dropped a hair clip down the toilet, and to fish it out, she very cleverly used one of those, what are they called?
A ladle.
Yeah, but like the spaghetti ones, thanks, Jam.
Okay.
And just pried it out like that. And I went to the toilet, and she'd left it in the shower, and I was just like, oh, that's weird, that ladle. And then the first thing that came to my mind, without thought, was, I really hope we don't have to throw that away because that was the ladle that I had when I lived at home with mum and dad.
Yeah. Oh.
A pasta ladle.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought, honestly, I looked at it, of course, but without even thinking, I was just like, how weird is it that we get attached to objects that they don't really, you know, it's not like when you have like a loved one's piece of clothing or like, I don't know, I've got like my dad's glasses and stuff like that, and like I've got a few of his t-shirts, but I never thought that I would then think of him when I looked at a pasta ladle.
Yeah.
But it happens, especially when they go down the toilet. But you had one, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's such a good point to raise, and I actually put a clip on the socials because I was talking about my mum gave me some like collagen creamer that you put in a coffee, and Vince, my dad, used to absolutely love it, and since he's passed, obviously now I've got it, and I'm noticing myself using it very sparingly because I actually can't deal with the fact that it's going to end at some point.
Yes,
because I'm just like, this was his.
You
like,
can't throw it in the bin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just weird, isn't it? And I was like shocked to see, because I thought, God, it must be out of date, but I was shocked to see that actually it goes out of date at the end of this year, and I was like, oh, outlived him. But it's like so weird, isn't it? Because you get attached to stuff that you shouldn't necessarily be attached to, but and like not, you wouldn't look at it and think, oh, Vince or Dad or whatever, but it gives you that sentiment of a memory that is attached to them, and then it's like, oh, now it's sentimental to me. It's really weird.
It's not even a significant memory, you know, like, you know, that you remember, you know, the poignant things that stick out and things like that. But I do also think there's quite a beautiful thing in that I look at a pasta ladle in the shower that had just been down the toilet, and I thought, I can't throw it away because I remember when Dad used to give me pasta with that.
Yeah.
But never in my life have I thought, I remember when Dad used to.
Yeah.
But you hang on to these things, and you know, my body felt like, oh, like the pasta ladle. So strange, but so it's comforting in a really weird way. And I think my problem, because I'm not a hoarder. I don't want to throw that word out there without meaning, but I mean, I really struggle to let go of things.
Yeah.
And I've been like that since I was a kid. I get really emotionally attached to, I've got loads of like teddy bears. But I can't, like, I've got so much worse with that, with grief. Like, I've got, like, my dad's whole outfits. They're just, like, in my drawers. And, like, I don't take them out and look at them, but I cannot do anything else with them. I can't even move them. I don't want to move them. I'm obviously not going to throw them away. I don't want to repurpose them. I just want to know that they're right there. And I don't want, grief is like a never ending, it's not like, it is a never ending journey, and one to be honoured, as you said the other week. But I just keep thinking to myself, like, so all through my life, am I just going to have like the pasta ladle and the jeans? Like,
Yeah.
Does it go? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go. It doesn't have to go, but it's just so strange, like how, not complex, it's a lovely thing, but how deep it really goes, and how deep, like, an impact like someone can have on your life, where you ultimately look at a pasta ladle and think of them straight away.
And I think it's like anything with objects, and even I remember like when my dad first died, he'd bought my mum some oranges the day before, and she couldn't eat the oranges for like weeks because she was like, he bought them for me. Like, and I think you get that about foods and stuff as well, don't you? Like when you've got something that you might have had with them, doesn't even have to have any value.
No, but it
could just be a packet of crisps that was opened and you were sharing with them, and then they pass, and it's like, oh, I can't. What do I do with that now?
Like frame it.
Yeah,
like, and someone comes to like, why have you got a family pack of Doritos on your wall? Like,
yeah.
Don't ask. I feel like that in like on the food subject, and the way I eat foods, I do because of my dad. So like my dad used to, like, me and Daisy used to moan at it when we were kids, but he used to be obsessed with making cottage pie. I know that's a great trait to have, but we used to get really bored of it. And he always used to put brown sauce all over his cottage pie. And I never used to do it when I was a kid. And now I always have brown sauce on my cottage pie. And we went to Jamie's, well, my mother-in-law's house for dinner the other day, and she made cottage pie, and like we texted her before, and I was like, have you got brown sauce?
Aww.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
it's delicious. Any cottage pie fanatics out there? Yeah.
It's funny though, isn't it? Like I think as well, if you've ever, and I'm sure this probably a lot of grievers will have this in their life, but if you ever like batch cook and freeze stuff.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, my mum, so Vince used to make, I keep calling him Vince, Dad Vince, you know who he is, guys. He always used to make an absolutely unreal bolognese. And he batch cooked a load before he passed. And my mum and my little brother had some of it probably like a couple of months ago.
Oh my God.
And it was so surreal to have that thing that was made by them, and enjoy it together without them. And I know Hugh did the same. I think he said it was his mum's birthday and she made a Guinness cake, and he froze some and they had some like a year later. So it's, again, like, not going to encourage you guys to freeze food. I haven't got freeze now, so I've got no way. But I think it's really nice, like, to have, imagine that. Like, it must be so surreal having that meal they cooked when they were here.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to get it exactly how they used to make it, especially if they were, like, a pro at a certain recipe or really good at, like, baking or whatever. So it must feel so special to have that.
That is, I just have never thought of that. That's really mind-blowing. Like, oh my God, that must feel like almost bittersweet. Obviously, almost bittersweet, very bittersweet. But wow, what a comfort to have to, like, there's sometimes, like, I think like family, like, sort of like the intimacy of like having, like, being at home and like having meals growing up with your family is so, like, you cherish it when you're older and you think nothing of it at the time. So I can't imagine what that's like to then have a meal that someone's made that they're no longer here. Yeah,
and I like, my mum's really good at particularly when, like, Vince first died, she found it hard, obviously, to let go of certain items, and you know what you have to do when you've got to start looking at the wardrobe and start actually being realistic of, okay, do we need all these clothes now, which is so incredibly tough. But with Mum, like, she knows that my dad's always here, you know, her husband's always here. And she doesn't necessarily have to attach that memory to something.
Yeah.
She obviously has her special things.
Yeah.
You know, a jumper, his cologne she's still got. But I think it's important to try and have a bit of a gap, because otherwise it does become a little bit obsessive, because it is easy to do.
I've never related to something more in my life, because that's how I would sort of describe my attachment to things. And it's not even to do with my dad. Like, I'm not going to go into myself, but like, I think that like, it is really easy to get attached to something and then lose sight of what it is. Like, you know, I remember when me and Jamie were moving, and like we had to go like into the attic and stuff, and then there were like medical things that like from when my dad was like end of life, and I was like, obviously I couldn't wait to get rid of them, sort of thing, but I was also like, oh my god, like he used this, and I was like, when he was shriveled up like a raisin, dying, like, well, no, but I, you know, like I remember just being like, oh, I can't wait to get rid of this, and then I was like, oh, and then I'm like, it's a orange waste bag, like I can't keep it, but I wish that I had like, and to be honest, like, I can speak from my own point of view, in that sometimes it does feel pretty impossible. I mean, I've got OCD, which probably doesn't help, but like I find it very hard to part ways with anything. And when it comes to stuff with my dad, like I can't part ways with anything at all. Like it spans into like other things where I never throw away birthday cards, which I think is different. I'm talking about waste bags and ladles, like, but birthday cards. I mean, and I've still got like the last birthday card I got from my dad, and he wrote this like paragraph in it. I've got it tattooed on me actually, but things like that I think are so useful. But you're so right. When it becomes an obsession, you do need a little bit of a reality check. Like I'm speaking from myself, by the way, because I need to be more rough with myself, I feel, with some things, because you do need to like think like, what purpose is this serving me, and what purpose did it serve my dad? The pasta ladle helped him to put spaghetti into a bowl. I don't think I'm going to miss that as much as, say, I would miss his, like, I've got his glasses, which I quite like. And, like, my mum's got his wedding ring, like, things like that.
Those are very sentimental things, aren't they? Yeah. And I think that's the thing, like, I found it, like, weird to get my head around the fact that, as I said, my mum's really good at kind of not attaching herself to everything and only having her things that are super sentimental. And she, you know, she's so spiritual anyway, isn't she? Like, she always says about, you know, Vince is always with me, and I don't need something to fill his presence. But I found it crazy to get my head around the fact that she only had like one portion of this bolognese left, and they had it. And they didn't do it, like, Mum and Oscar didn't have it for like a special occasion or anything. They just had it for dinner. But I suppose every day is a special occasion. And I was just like, but guys, now it's gone. Now it's gone. Do you know what I mean? But I think that for me was like crazy, but I think every griever has to go through that at some point. You know, at some point my collagen powder is going to run out, and that's going to be sad. But I can't be sad at the fact that, like, I'm not sad over it being. Do you know what I mean?
You're sad because you've added sentimental value to it because your dad gave it to you. You know, it's not because it's the collagen powder. But God, it's very hard to separate the two. Yeah, like it really is. Still got that. Yeah, objects, man. I also think about, because I moved, you moved, obviously, well, you did move, that's a fact. Did you? When we moved from the house that, my dad didn't die there, but it was like where we lived before he went to the hospice. And like, when we moved from there, I was like, God, this is really odd. Like, I found it hard to move, but I equally couldn't wait to get out because I have those horrible memories of the later stages. Another thing actually I've got is I've still got the my dad's like my mum and dad's like bed frame, and on the top is all of the cup of tea marks where my dad's cup of teas were on the top. Sweet. And like I always say, 'cause I'm desperate for a new bed, I need a king size, I can't cope anyway. That's grief in itself, but I think what I'm going to do is like, well, I haven't told Haz this, but I guess he's got tools. I want to cut them into coasters.
Oh, that would be so
really
sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, that's such a good point, though. It's like making something of a old object, if you can.
Because if it was me, I'd put the bed frame on the wall. It was my dad's.
No, that's so sweet. I love that idea. Yeah, it's such a weird thing, and I think with grief, you almost grieve. You almost grieve twice. Well, obviously you grieve loads of times, but there's like two key things for me. There's when they first go and you think about all of the stuff that you miss about them, And then you've also got when they go and you realise all the things they're going to miss. So I've been finding it quite a lot at the minute since buying this house. You know, I sit out in the garden often and I just sit on the bench and think, sometimes I talk to my dad out loud and I'll say, like, I just can't believe you're not here to see this house. Like, my first house that I've bought, it's a bungalow. You love bungalows. You love it here. Like, and it's so frustrating. But I think that's another thing, isn't it? You kind of process all the stuff. Oh, I miss XYZ, but now it's also thinking about the stuff they're gonna miss and they're not here for.
Never-ending cycle. And the problem with it is you can articulate it to your support group so much, but ultimately it's you that misses that.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, really interesting. Well, it's not interesting. It's devastating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. You've got your beautiful tree with the little his lights on, haven't you?
I do.
Which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah, my dad and mum bought us some outdoor lights for the wedding, they're like kind of lanterns, and now I've put them on the tree. So, and it's really sweet actually because they're solar panelled, so they only glow when it's sunny, and it's just really comforting sometimes when obviously when it's a shit day like this, they won't glow. So I'm like, Vince ain't with me anymore.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah. No.
But also like, yeah.
No.
I can't.
No.
You can't deal with us today.
Utensils anyway.
Right, guys, sorry, this hasn't been our best.
I disagree. I think it's important to choke on coffee, talk about utensils, and no, these are the sides of grief that you're not going to get from a book or something like that. You know, this is real life.
What, the waffle and the chat and shirt?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I was in my head like waffles. That's oh, my dad loved them too. He did. I made that up.
Pancake Day. That was another thing we had recently, wasn't it? That we were sad about that. I found it hard.
Yeah.
It's such. We both said actually that like Pancake Day was. I feel like that's such a dad day.
It is. I still and you know what I said about the cottage pie and the brown sauce. I still do my pancakes just lemon and sugar.
I was going to say if you put brown sauce on pancakes, you absolutely.
And I put cottage pie in the middle of it. Don't so my dad is dad. Yeah, I put lemon and sugar on my pancakes, but this year I did branch out, put a bit of Biscoff and banana on it.
Yeah, I was the same actually. I didn't want to do lemon and sugar because it felt too like my dad. Yeah, so I had pistachio, which actually I hate to break it to him. Not a better pancake, never, but a better combination.
Okay, combination.
But yeah, Pancake Day was a hard one. But again, it's like a weird date, isn't it? That like you don't associate. When your
parent dies or when anyone dies and it gets to Pancake Day, you don't think, what am I going to do without them? You think Father's Day, Mother's Day, their birthday, like an anniversary. But Pancake Day then slaps you in the face and you see like adverts of people making pancakes with their families. It's like, not going to have that again then?
I feel like Easter's a hard one as well, to be fair.
Yeah, Easter. Do you know what?
Just family kind of things.
Every fucking day, really.
Yeah. Actually, it's all really hard.
Love it.
Do you ever get like just bored of grieving?
I do, and like the problem is sometimes I do like put it subconsciously put it to the back of my mind, and then I feel like guilty. And like I get bored of it in the sense where I'm just like, oh God, like I could really do with like not having to carry this dad-shaped weight on in my life forever. But then, like as you said the other week, like it is a privilege, and sometimes I do feel that privilege because I'm so grateful that I love someone that much.
Yeah.
That for the rest of my life I'm gonna have a grey cloud over me.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It is really lovely because you think of them always, and you know it's just human emotion and loving someone at the purest form, isn't it?
Yeah, and it just makes you like learn so much and grow so much as well. Like it is the shittest, and I'm not going to say best lesson, but it is a really shit,
valuable,
but a valuable lesson. Really valuable. And I still just the growth that you go through when you've lost someone is crazy. And
no one will tell you that, you know.
No,
because you don't want to hear it, but it's so true. It is really true, and I think there's a reason like why everyone goes through loss, and it's not because everyone dies, but it's because like it's that I genuinely think, having gone through it, it's the only way to evolve as a person, as a friend, as a partner. Like, I'm not saying your family has to die for you to become a better person, but also like it opens a door that you just I was completely blind to anything real life, I would say, until that happened. And I think that year on year, like, you realize how strong and resilient you are, and also it doesn't just impact you, it impacts every single person around you. So you carry a darkness, but you also carry a glow, which just spreads to everyone, because ultimately you are a better person because you understand human emotion more.
Wow, clipping that. Bravo, Rose. We'll finish there, I reckon. No, I just wanted to say about upcoming apps, because we've got a very exciting guest. He goes by the name Bucket List Shane. He's going to come on the pod in April. So that's really exciting. He actually reached out to us, which I'm so privileged about, because he's got quite the following now.
Yeah.
He's got like nearly 20,000 followers.
And an incredible story in person. Like,
oh my God, yeah. He is so cool.
Cannot wait to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to try and incorporate one of his bucket list items, TBC, while he's here. But yeah, he's kindly coming down to join us on the pod to talk about the loss of his mum and basically everything he's done since. And he's raised a lot of money, raised so much awareness. He is pretty insane. So really excited to have him on.
It's such an honour and so exciting. And like, you know, we were just saying that, like, you ever get bored of grief? And like, yeah, but it just opens a door to other people, and
absolutely,
it's a beautifully horrible thing.
Yeah, so true. And then the other person is I share like an office space with other companies, and I was at the coffee machine the other day, just having a little chin wag with this lady that I'd not met before, and we were talking about the cakes on offer, because they do a cake Wednesday. And we just randomly got chatting, and she was telling me she's a psychotherapist, and since then we had a chat, and I've asked her to come on the pod because she talks about grief with her clients from a perspective of loss as well. But her main kind of bread and butter with grief is the loss of a life you once had, whether that be you're made redundant, whether that be, you've gone through a major life change, whether it's a divorce or something like that. So I think it would be a really insightful perspective that we don't often touch on.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's Gabrielle. She's going to be coming on soon as well. Turning into Your Soul is her name.
Love that.
Some exciting.
Oh, this is like a Glasto level lineup.
It's like only getting bigger, guys. Watch this space.
Watch this space.
But yeah, thank you again for joining us today. Hopefully it wasn't too rainy, or maybe it was quite a nice like ambience if you can hear the rain in the background.
We could just like clip that in.
Yeah.
People won't fall asleep hearing me barking down the microphone, but
yeah, thank you so much for coming back. And yeah, love you guys.
Love you.